Thank you for coming. My name is Mark Weber, and I'm president of Friends of Winnslie Parkway. Thanks to Randy Neufeld here, we have this event, Walk the Trail, where actually, Randy, do you want to tell everybody what your idea was for Walk
The
the Trail?
idea was to walk the trail. That we should actually get out and use our bodies once in a while in the neighborhood and help clean up and do things like that. So it's good.
And Randy, by the way, started another event called Bike the Drive. So here we go. Some people may not know much about the Winnslie Parkway, so I just want to thank a few of the people that were instrumental in its development. And that would be number one, Stephen Christie, who lives down 2 blocks that way. And he developed this area back in 1999. It was just a flat area, and he was worried that the angled parking would encroach on our block. So he said, let's just fill it up so they can't put parking in here. And hence we have a park instead of angled parking. So wasn't that great? I'm so happy he did that. Thank you, Stephen. Um, Actually, in 2013, the railroad decided to do a project up here that required the railroad to completely take out all the trees that were put in up here, the bushes, the flowers, and everything, and it was just down to the dirt. 2014, they put it all back up because the neighborhood said, we want to have a park here, and they weren't going to do it unless we told them to. So thankfully, they did. And we said, let's put a path in because we thought that would bring more people here, and it actually did. Before, hardly anybody ever used this space, if you can remember. People that live here would probably agree with me. And ever since then, we've had this path here, and we talked with the ward about expanding it because it was in such bad shape down towards Lawrence. And after about, I don't know, several years of discussions, Josh Mark and Matt Martin at the 47th Ward said that we have this opportunity to redo Ravenswood. Would you like us to expand the parkway, the trail all the way down to Lawrence? And we said, yeah. I don't know how we're going to pay for maintenance, but we'll just have to figure that out. So they agreed to do that. They wanted to do it. They wanted to remove all that asphalt that was not being used. The angled parking was a lot of wasted asphalt. And they wanted to put in the bike path. So we got all this new stuff thanks to the 47th Ward. And I also want to thank Ben Halpan from Neighborspace, who went to the city to get the funds to put in that section down there. Without him and Neighborspace, we wouldn't have had it either. So 47th Ward, Neighborspace, and then finally, all the people in the community that donate. We have 84 donors. 61% of them are repeat donors. 44% have given more than 3 times. We have a very strong support and donations. It pays for the maintenance. Fred Shanmeyer's landscape group does this every 2 weeks and makes it look fantastic. But we couldn't pay for him if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you for your donations. Thank you for your volunteer support to put in the chips and to clean up the litter. And, looking forward to the future. There's a lot of talk about putting in more green spaces along the embankments. And that's something that I know RNA is working on, Ravenswood Neighbors Association. And we'll see what can get done in the future to make it even better. But for right now, we got a pretty fantastic thing. It goes all the way from Lawrence up to Foster now, if you count Christie Gardens, and that's a half mile. So really pleased about the way things have gone. So the other person, obviously, that's very important here is David, David Bier, who's our landscape architect, who designed the he designed Winnslie Parkway as well as the expansion, and then, of course, lots of stuff in Ravenswood because he's been here for decades. Along with Steve, and the two of them have been a great team putting this whole thing together. I think that's all I wanted to say. Does anybody have any questions for me before I hand it over to David? Okay, David, here you go.